Okay, here we go. Welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and we are here for another market close live stream. There was a lot of green in the market today, and overall, the market seemed kind of flat in the green. Maybe the 0 to 2% range was where most companies kind of fell in. But there were some big movers, like Macy's out of nowhere was up 17%. And SoFi, a company that I love dearly, was up a whopping 7.5%. It did get higher throughout the day, but wow, SoFi did incredible today. See the comment, sold some of my SoFi and some of my Tesla today. Love them both, but they had great runs. Yes, they did. It's not bad to have a set portfolio where you do your long-term investing, and it's fine to have a smaller portfolio where you do your day trades or swing trades, and definitely selling at the high is much better than selling at the low. So yeah, good job on those two trades. They worked out good for you. SoFi is up at a high right now of $20.85. That is not an all-time high for them, but they are pretty close to where they were a few months ago at around $20 a share. I expect the stock to go higher, although with its big run-up today, like most companies, when they have a big run-up, usually the day after or the day or two after, they will slowly start to bleed out some, as the ones who have made the most profit do swing their trades and sell to reap some of those rewards. So that's okay. That's good to go. Okay, in the market today, there were a few things. We're going to talk about Zillow because that was a big one and how that may affect companies like Opendoor. But today, trading did seem a bit technically driven. And when I say that, if we look at the S&P 500, it appears that way when taking into account the earlier trading range. The S&P 500 moved lower at the open, as expected, but the selling stopped when it reached Friday's low, and that was around 44.47, okay? So there's a parallel right there. Now, this is a one-day chart, so this isn't tracking hourly movements or anything, but you can see the two last candlesticks to the right. On Friday, the market, or the S&P 500, I should say, closed above its 50-day moving average. And we've talked about that 50-day moving average quite frequently. And it seems like we are going to have a year-end bull run for a lot of companies that trade in the market. And that's to be expected. It seems like the market is said to inflation, to interest rate hikes. Well, we know they're coming. We know inflation's here. Interest rates are down the road, not too far away. Oh, well, let's have a rally and celebrate the end of the year. That's kind of like what it seems like to me. But back to the S&P 500. The ensuing rebound effort, meanwhile, stalled at 44.73, or just below Friday's high of 44.75. The stock, or I should say stock market, seems to be operating in a wait-and-see mode. Well, wait and see. Let's have a year-end rally. I think we might see this blow-off top that a lot of people are talking about, and then we'll have our correction. Maybe that'll be Q1 of 2022, or maybe Q2 of 2022 when interest rates start to kick up a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see. But the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both rebound a negative open today, while the Dow Jones was nearly flat but finished in the red, as investors seem to look past weak data and inflation concerns to bet earnings, or I should say, to bet earnings reports will continue to top expectations. Right now, 41 of the S&P 500 companies have so far reported Q3 earnings results, with 80% of them topping EPS expectations, or earnings per share, while the total estimated Q3 profit growth for the entire S&P 500 is 30%. That's a big number when you look back in history. Major companies slated to report earnings this week include Netflix, Johnson & Johnson, Tesla, which I am very excited for Tesla's earnings. I think they're going to beat everything. Any record that Tesla has made, they are going to blow off and beat in this earnings report. We got United Airlines, Procter & Gamble, Verizon, IBM, just to name a few. So there's a lot of big earnings coming up this week, and that's going to move the markets. Meanwhile, economic data showed China's GDP growth slowed in Q3 and by more than expected. And U.S. industrial activity unexpectedly declined for the second month in September. Does the supply chain have an impact on the industrials slowing down? It could be. If they can't get their product delivered, they can't make any more product. They only have so much room to store products away. So last week, the Dow did gain 1.6%, the most since June. The S&P 500 rose 1.82%, the most since July, while the NASDAQ saw the best week since the end of August on stronger than expected earnings. As we've talked about, the earnings season has kicked off, and it's kicked off with a bang. Everything seems to be going good. There were some positive economic data released last week, including retail sales. So the market is chugging along. Now, there are a few individual stocks that I want to talk about that caught my attention today. The first one is Disney, ticker symbol DIS. Now, I think Disney is a great company to invest in. It has been flat for the majority of this year. It got up to a high of $203 a share. Right now, it's at $171. It did dip lower than that today. But the reason Disney had a down day, and you don't typically see 3%, 5% moves from Disney, but they were down 3% today. Disney is, what I would say, is in the need of a fairy tale ending to turn its gloomy day around after a Barclays analyst downgraded the stock to equal weight from overweight, meaning it's going to perform equal to past results or equal to companies within their sector. It's not going to be a shining star and outperform in any way. That's what they believe. So they did this while also cutting their price target to $175 from $210. And you can see right now, Disney's at $171. They were lower than that intraday. But at the core of this downgrade is concern regarding slowing subscriber growth for Disney Plus, the company's streaming shining star that has launched its direct-to-consumer business. The success of Disney Plus and the digital transformation was the primary reason behind the strong performance of Disney's stock, which ran higher by 130% from March 2020 to March 2021. Then, of course, it's been flat since then. Maybe in a bit of a downtrend if we measure the peak of 203 to where it is now at 171. As the tables have turned, mounting concerns that this growth engine for Disney has lost its steam, and this has weighed on shares. Slow subscription growth is something that investors shouldn't, I messed up. I said should have anticipated. This shouldn't have been a surprise. And the reason I say that is companies go and have investor days. They go and speak at investment firms. CEOs from companies will go speak at, banks and so forth at these conferences. And it's important, at least the stocks that you're invested in, it's important to follow what is publicly said because it can give you an insight. And the reason I say that and why investors in Disney should have anticipated this slowdown is that Disney's CEO warned about the likelihood of September, or I'm getting my thoughts here mixed up. Hold on one second. It was in September when Disney's CEO was at a Goldman Sachs conference, and he estimated that Q4 global paid subscriptions would increase by a low single-digit number versus Q3, which saw nice growth. That translates into a sequential growth rate of around 2 to 4% compared to the 9% growth rate in Q3. What this downgrade illustrates is that Disney is becoming increasingly at risk of missing its long-term streaming subscription targets. And Disney isn't alone in this struggle. Competitor Netflix reported 430,000 decline in subscribers in Q3. Now, Netflix is set to report earnings after the bell tomorrow afternoon, and we'll look at those tomorrow. But this will give us a good insight into maybe what's happening at Disney. So keep that on your calendar. Tomorrow, Netflix reports after the closing bell. Look at the subscriber growth. Is there subscriber growth, or did they lose subscribers? It's going to be important because that will help to give us, at least shed some light on Disney's possible subscriber growth or decline. But it looks like it's going to be a slow tick up in subscriber growth. Because Disney Plus, it did come on the scene and bam, it had 1 million subscribers. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. Now, on Friday, we talked about a few stocks, and I want to point out a couple of things that happened. We talked about Generac. Now, I wish I could say that I planned this, and Generac's ticker symbol is GNRC. We talked about this company. It is an expensive stock, but the company, I believe, is super strong. The company today released new products, and in doing so, the stock was up 4%. That was a big day for Generac. And those new products that they released helped push the stock to a new all-time high today. I wish I could say I planned this, but I didn't. That new all-time high was $470.80. And again, that was off new product announcements. Now, another one that we mentioned on Friday was in the transportation sector, and that was Old Dominion. Ticker symbol ODFL. They also reached a new record high today. This is a a trucking company. And I said that these stocks would do very well because of our supply chain problems. It was up 1.7%. Again, a trucking company, which delivers freight all over. They saw their new all-time high today of $307.93. So just keep these companies on your radar. If you are in a brokerage that allows fractional shares, maybe that's a way to take advantage of this sector, or look for an ETF maybe that covers transportation. I think it's going to be a strong sector, and it's going to continue to be strong. And then Generac is just killing it with their generators and their merger, their conversion, their transformation to the inverter for solar storage, wind storage, battery packs. So keep them in your radar. I know they're expensive stocks, $307 and over $400, but they are solid companies. Now, the next company I want to talk about is Zillow. This company did not have such a good day today. And it leaves people wondering, why is there such a big red volume candle for Zillow? Well, Zillow was down 9.45% today. That's a gigantic drop for Zillow. Now, the Zillow has been in a downtrend since reaching its all-time high back in, let's see, I guess this was February time frame back here, a high of $208, and it's down to $86 right now. What in the world happened today? Well, people sold their Zillow, which is kind of a silly pun, because one of the things that Zillow does is they buy homes, they fix them up a little bit, and then they resell those homes. And the way Zillow reports this, they don't report just the profit in their revenue. They report the entire sale. So it really boosts their revenue up. Well, today, Zillow announced its Zillow Offers segment, which is the buy, fix up, and sell, will not sign any new contracts to buy homes through the end of the year. Zillow is citing a backlog in renovations and operational capacity constraints, mostly due to the labor shortages. That's what Zillow says. They also said a pause of new contracts is expected to enable Zillow to catch up on this backlog of renovations already in the works. Now, if you're invested in Zillow or Opendoor or Redfin or any company using the iBuyer program, which is the buy, fix up, and resell homes, investors should understand that this affects only Zillow's home flipping segment, known as Zillow Offers, like I just said, not its other businesses. So even though Zillow Offers, in their segment Zillow Offers, will continue to market and sell homes during this period, it just will not be buying homes itself during this period. Zillow will refer sellers to a local premier agent partner for any homes that pop up, or if there are customers who want to sell their home to Zillow. So that's how it's going to work for Zillow. And a quick side note, this is something that I didn't know about Zillow until doing research on Zillow today and trying to understand why the stock fell so hard. Now, it may seem like a dumb thing that maybe I should have known, but I didn't. Now I do. Zillow has two ticker symbols, Z and also ZG. Now, in case you didn't know this, and dumb me, I didn't know it, but Zillow underwent a split in 2015 while generating new share classes, and now trades under the tickers Z and ZG. So right now we're looking at the chart for Z. If we go to ticker symbol ZG for Zillow, which is Zillow Group, you can see the chart looks practically the same, although the numbers are slightly different on the price per share. Similar, but not exactly. Even their percentage down today was different. It was 9.37%. Now, the ticker symbol Z is for new class of non-voting stocks. That's what ticker symbol Z is for. Now, when we get to ZG, excuse me for 1 second. Gotta take a quick little drink. Thank you. ZG is for a different type of shareholder that has voting rights attached to it. So just wanted to point that out. A little fact that I didn't know earlier today, but I found it out. So hopefully it's now you know. So we're all in the know. Okay, so moving on. Remember, this live stream is for you. So if you have any questions, leave the ticker symbol in your comment or question, and we'll go over it. I do want to peek at some of the winners today and some of the losers today and see if we can't figure anything out off of this. Now, we talked about SoFi being up 7.59% today. They're at $20.85. They did great. Wonderful company. Affirm also, it just can't help itself. It was up another 7% today, $157. Now, on the flip side of Affirm, you have a company like Upstart. Upstart was actually down today after, my goodness, a soaring run that company has been on. But we'll look at that in just a moment. Surprisingly, Macy's was at the top, 17.5% today. Fuel Cell Energy was up 18.2% today. We've got Riot Blockchain. A lot of cryptos, you'll see that we're up today. But Riot, we talked about them on Friday also. They have an investor day. They were up 7.7% even today. Hive is also a crypto mining company. They were up 7% today. AMC, for all the momentum investors, they were up 5.6% today. You got Nordstrom here. Bed Bath & Beyond was also up, so retail was up today. We got Lucid Motors up 5.3%. They're at $25.34. I think there's a ceiling for Lucid at $28.29 a share. I think that's a ceiling for Lucid until they actually say, hey, we delivered 500 cars. We delivered 1,000 cars. I think that'll be the next big catalyst for Lucid. I saw they opened up one of their retail locations in Canada recently. So that's good that they are still moving forward with their plans and still opening their showrooms. So they're doing good. But again, I think there's a ceiling coming up for them. Is ever a lost cause, tanked aftermarket, early earnings. Okay. Let me hop over here. So Everland Public Company. Or no, EverQuote. EverQuote Inc. Is that the correct one? EverQuote Inc. Yep. Okay, EverQuote here. Let's see. Let's dig into them a little bit. EverQuote market cap 503 million. Earnings have been bouncing around. They have beat the past three, but the estimates for them are down quite a bit this third quarter here for them, fiscal year. Let's see. Profit margin increased. Revenue has been increasing. Net income has been going up too there. Performance has been horrible. Like we looked at Zillow, they've been doing horrible as well. Okay. Okay, so some of the financials here for EverQuote. Let's see. Quarterly, there we go. Oh, their total current assets have been going up, slowly ticking up. Total non-current assets. All right. Let's see. Liability, total equity in Q2, 81 million. So up 7%, 7%, 5%, 10%, 7%, 8%, 7%. So each quarter, I mean, it's ticking up 7%, 8%, 7% the last 2 quarters. Total debt did pick up in Q4 of 2020. That's why there was that difference. But it's gone down a little bit in the Q2, so I'd like to see that go down in Q3 when it pops up. So big Q2 21 jump in earnings. Profit margin also took a jump up. That's good. So what ticked up here? Cash flow investings have ticked up, but operating cash flow has also ticked up, which is really good because you need money to make money. Balance sheet here. Okay. Well, financials are improving. All right, so the latest news for EverQuote sees wider preliminary Q3 loss, lower than expected revenue. Let's see if there's a reason for why, or is it just reporting the facts here? Markets closed Monday that it expects Q3 GAAP net loss of 6 million to 5.5 million. Compares with a loss of 3.2 million in the prior period. The online insurance marketplace also said it expects revenue for September quarter to be in the range of 106.5 million, 107.5 million, down from prior guidance of 109 to 111 million. The company said it expects adjusted. Okay. So not a reason for why they're slowing down. The company said its Q3 performance was impacted by challenges to the auto industry market, with several of its carrier customers having experienced higher than expected claims losses. So are people coming back from the being home from the pandemic and they need to retrain how to drive? Is that why they're incurring more auto claims? Or is it because the auto industry is slowing down, not selling as many cars, so they're not getting in too many, they're not getting new customers because of the auto industry slowing down? Those are the first two things that popped in my mind. Since they say higher than expected claims losses, that means there's more accidents. And then revenue slowing down, meaning they don't have the customers, so there's not people buying new cars and getting new policies. That could be the two main drivers. So with this, definitely the stock chart does not look too healthy. I know when we looked at Tilray last week, that alert that I set, it got triggered today, so it dipped down some more. Let's see. So this is a daily chart for the company. Nice run from 2019 till, let's see, what is this, July of last year? Nice run up. So it makes sense that it has fallen with the pandemic. Not as many people driving. But then again, you know, people still have their cars parked. They're still paying for insurance. Not as many accidents. But now it's just the reversal of that. So, man, this one's tough. As far as a floor for this, if you go all the way back to 2019, it had a floor down here of $3 or $4. I don't know if it would go that far. It looks like if we look at this band right here on the relative strength index, it got as low as 14. So has it ever done that before? Has it ever gotten that low? Let's see, this one is 23, so not as low. This one here is in the 33 range. And then right here, when it was at $4, relative strength got to 13. So right now, this oversold mark right here that happened in August 19, August 20, maybe back to August 16. So in that range right there, that could have been the sign that there's support for it coming in. So maybe as it comes down, maybe there's going to be support for it to kick in. So if we compare where that was at, that was up here at about 1840, and we're at 1730 right now. With them pre-releasing information on their Q3 earnings, they're trying to level expectations so people don't freak out when they see what the numbers are. So when the earnings do come out, there could be still some more selling pressure on the stock because someone hears, oh, we're going to miss expectations, and then when they see the numbers, then there's another sell-off because, oh, maybe we weren't thinking it was going to be that bad. I like trying to find good dogs. Yeah, absolutely. But this one bit me good, 1730 to 1626 after hours. Yeah, if I go to let's look at this more closely. I'm gonna go to a 1 hour chart. So there's a 1696 on there. I think there could be more selling pressure on this stock. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable about this one because I think there could be more selling pressure because they're trying to meet expectations, and then once the numbers come out, it'll probably be more selling pressure again. So this is a tough one. But as it gets closer to Q3, which is in 21 days, it says here, you may see a floor reached right before or right after the earnings. Maybe that would be a time to buy, but just watch it. Watch what it does. Does it consolidate here? Does it bleed out some and continue down, or what's the stock going to do? What are others thinking? And that's really what investing is. Okay. So, yeah, I don't feel confident about this one. I think it could go lower. But you can always dollar cost average if it goes lower, because as long as the company still is putting up good financials, even if they are missing expectations, if the underlying financials still are ticking up and looking good, then you've got a long term that you could hold there. So yeah. Okay. All right, I'll hop back over here for a moment. If you got any other tickers we can go look at. Yeah, actually, let me go to the group of them here. Cannabis Stocks. Where are you guys? Yeah, I try to group out all of my stocks so I can keep track of them individually. Okay, I missed it. Okay. Renewables, industrials, defense, REIT, hotels, space, banks, automotive, airlines, energy, cybersecurity, brokers, social media, EV charging, restaurant, streaming, hardware, boating. There it is, right by the boating stocks. Ooh. So overall, they didn't have a very good day today. We've got High Tide and Grow Generation were the only two positive today. I remember looking at Tilray last week that they got down to that. Yeah, it did. Tilray shares moved sharply higher. What? Company reports an 8K filing entered into assumption agreement with Double Diamond Holdings. When is this from? This is from the 14th. This is last week's news. It looks like there might have been a bottom found there on Tilray. Let me see if I can get a better look at it over here. TLRY. Yeah, remember I put that right here. If it crossed 1013, and it did trip it. But if we look at this for today, it looked like there was a floor right at $10. Right at $10 even. Maybe $9.99. But that was where the candle wicks came down today, and both of them were stopped. So right now the stock It is sitting oversold at 26 points, and anything under 30 that's oversold. So it could be a good place to buy, quite frankly. Because whenever it gets this low on the RSI, the past 3 times, it has rebound, at least for a swing trade. So every time the stock has been oversold, there has been a rebound. And it usually goes up until it's overbought all the way. So that's interesting. But yeah, it looks like $10. That might be the bottom there. At least interesting today. Wait and see what happens tomorrow. Yep, been patient. Tilray watching the trend. Yep, absolutely. You thank you. I'm just here to help with whatever I can. What's this other note? Oh, that's from last week too. They're expanding into Pennsylvania. Let's see. Cresco expands in Pennsylvania, an $80 million acquisition of Laurel Harvest. That's pretty big. Vertically integrated cannabis company Cresco Labs. They're another. Interesting. Let's see. You know, one that I like that's it's not it has nothing to do with cannabis, but it's like remember in the gold rush, the California gold rush. It wasn't the prospectors who made the fortune. It was those selling the picks and shovels. They were the ones that made the fortune. Hydro Farm Holdings is one that I like because of that mentality. They sell the tools to the cannabis growers. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go through sector by sector. I haven't done this yet. So in electric vehicle sector, we have Lucid and Neo, the top two today, both up 5%. Tesla is going to have a massive earnings. That stock is going to keep going. Sports betting stocks. Let's see. Rush Street Interactive was up 2.6. They were the leader today. Solar had a good day. Sunworks was up 4%. Enphase another 4%. Generac 4%. Tesla. I put Tesla in with solar because they've got they have a solar company within Tesla. FinTech, SoFi did great, Affirm did great, Intuit, that's another company I like, but it's an expensive stock. It's at $564. Intuit. Square was up. When was this dated? Elon Musk milestone, Apple event, Dogecoin. forecast, Foxconn EVs, Bitcoin ETF, 5 headlines you missed. Well, this is not that important. This is information that we probably already know. Yeah, Apple had a big event today. They had some new products come out. So a number 3 on here, huge Dogecoin rally predicted. It could rally 500 to 1,000% in the coming months if the meme cryptocurrency reclaims the 24-cent level. Apple supplier Foxconn's EV foray, Apple's Taiwan-based supplier. Okay, we know that they're going with into EVs. Okay, what is this? Foxconn announces foray into the EV segment with the launch of 3 new electric vehicles at its annual Tech Day on Sunday. The vehicles include a sport utility vehicle named Model C, a Model F, Model E sedan, and a Model T bus. Interesting. See what that says. Well, that front kind of looks like the Lucid Air. Interesting. Okay, well, I missed that news right there. That's interesting to find. Foxconn is building 3 electric vehicles. Of course, Bitcoin and the futures ETF. That's a huge catalyst. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, this is what I'm doing some research on this now. I did a video a while back on the metaverse. But right here, I'm gonna have a part 2 or a I don't know, a second video on the metaverse, because it's just growing. And Facebook right here plans to create 10,000 jobs in the European Union as it attempts to build, quote, the metaverse. The metaverse is going to be a complete redo of the internet. It is awesome. It is awesome. There's a lot of private companies right now that I think I'm going to talk about in the upcoming metaverse part 2 video, because it's just wow where it could go. All right, let me move on here real quick. Technology, Unity software, which it could be a big metaverse player. They were up 3.5%. Let's see. Roblox is a metaverse player. They were up 1.5. Microsoft could actually be a metaverse player. It just depends on how quick they can move. And same with Google and Apple, Facebook. But Facebook is really putting a lot of money into building the metaverse. Okay, let's see. I haven't even put anything in there. There is an ETF that you can get for the metaverse. It's META. It had a green day. Not a big green day, but green enough. Big tech, all doing good. These are like big tech. This is like your core foundation right here. Because these companies have so much cash flow, it's unreal. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet. Outdoor stocks, they did good today. They were up 1, 2s, and 3%. Yeah, housing took a hit, all because of Zillow. ARC's ETFs, they did good, except for the genomics ETF. All right, and as far as ETFs go, lithium battery did good. Cybersecurity ETFs did good. NASDAQ ETFs good. Social media, surprisingly, they did good. Okay. We did cannabis already. Let's see. Boating industry, how did it do today? Oh, it was mainly green. All but one. All but the Tesla EVs, they were down. So Marine Max, that's my favorite boating industry. They were up 4.7% today. My second, it would be Brunswick, and they were up 1.7 today. Computer hardware, AMD was up. Gaming, Super League Gaming was up 4.6. Unity, again. Oh, what did Lemonade and Hippo do? Oh, they completely diverged today. Lemonade was up 2.6, but Hippo was down 5. I like Lemonade. I think they're going to change the insurance industry and disrupt it good. Okay. Well, that's about all that I wanted to talk about today. Restaurants did pretty well today. That's good. What about the RVs? Oh, they were green today. They were good. EV charging had a hard day. Blank, Climate, ChargePoint. All right. If you got any questions, let me know. Leave the ticker symbol and your question in the comments, and we'll go over it. Now, if you're watching the replay of this, you can leave your ticker symbol and question in the comments, and we'll go over it first thing tomorrow. But that is it for today. Not a lot to talk about today because the markets, they were just kind of But there'll be a lot of big news later this week with earnings coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here then. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate the questions, the conversation. It's always my favorite part of these videos. But I will wrap it up here. Thank you so very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.